Hello everybody, I'm Yusuf. A couple of weeks ago, I posted a video on LinkedIn talking about the Focus project I'm working on at TKS. It's a project in which I go deep into a field of technology to gain hands-on experience that would benefit me in the future or right now while building my different projects. Wait, something is off about this. Where's the ping pong ball? Oh yeah, I was just playing the Pong game just by blinking using my Muse Headband. Wait, I'm gonna lose. The ball should only touch the pad and not the bottom edge of the screen. If my score gets to 0, I lose. And I just did. Blinking once moves the pad to the left, and blinking another time will stop the pad where it is. And finally, blinking for a third time would move the pad to the right. That way you'll just be able to track the Pong ball as it moves through the screen and try to hit it with the pad before it touches the bottom edge. Okay, but how did I do it? First, I looked for hours for a project suitable for newbies in the BCI space. I was just a beginner. I found the virtual keyboard project, which was a very cool project that I was first planning to create. However, I had some problems. I'll talk about them later on. So first, I started searching for a useful EEG device like this Muse Headband, which will be able to track the signals from my brain. Then I went to Amazon and ordered the Muse Headband and waited for it to come.
1 week later.
Okay, I got it finally. So basically, this is the packaging that the Muse Headband came with. Okay, so how does this thing work? For any action we take or reaction we do, either voluntarily or involuntarily, our brains send electrical signals telling our body how to interpret this action or reaction. Our body basically operates through electrical signals. We are full of electricity. What an EEG device basically does, in our case it's the Muse Headband, it basically starts detecting those brain signals and classifies them based on the different frequencies and wavelengths of those different signals. So we have 5 different categories, which are the delta, theta, alpha, beta and gamma. And then using all of this categorization, we'll be able then to interpret different changes in those different wavelength and electrical signals in order to detect certain actions or reactions. Check out my previous article where I went into details of all of this and more. The link is in the description down below. Let's go back to the virtual keyboard project I told you about. It basically involves a lot of machine learning that is needed to classify the different brain signals the EEG Muse Headband collects. So as a new person in this whole space of brain-computer interfaces, it was hard for me to deal with a lot of amount of data, especially that, as I told you, I'm just a beginner in this field. So I started searching for another alternative for this project, just as a learning curve in order to be more familiar with the data acquired from the brain. Okay, so as I was editing this video, I realized that I did not mention that I'm still working on this project and will give you some updates in a couple of weeks, so stay tuned. The project that I chose is Blink Pong, which is basically the one I showed you at the beginning, where I can play the classic Pong game using my brain through blinking. The Muse Headband you see over here is responsible, as I told you, for collecting the data from my brain in order to detect the specific times where I blink. I used an app on the mobile phone called the Mind Monitor, which basically takes the data collected through this Muse Headband and sends it to the computer, and it gives me different tools that will allow me to detect blinks, and it will facilitate the process essentially. Just to reiterate that whenever we blink, our brain basically fires some electrical signals to be collected through this Muse Headband. Now, let's quickly analyze the code. Okay, so let's get started quickly. So first of all, we have here in this section, we have started to import the important modules and important packages we need to deal with the information we get from the Muse Headband, and basically everything we need from outside the basic Python functions. So for example, the OSC server over here will be able to, it's like the bridge between the mobile phone app, which is the Mind Monitor, and the computer, in which we send all of the data it collects through the OSC server to the computer. Then we have some global variables needed. So for example, for the OSC server, what is the port or what is the exact address that it will be receiving this information from the Mind Monitor app on. So then we have some functions to handle to detect blinks, which is also involved with the Mind Monitor app, which helps us do that. Also, there is more code over here to communicate with the Muse Headband and to understand what it is sending through the Mind Monitor app. So now this part of the code is responsible for the game itself and the gameplay. So we have, first of all, the functions for moving the paddle itself, moving it right or left. We have for the ball movement, whenever it hits a wall, for example, it needs to rebound in a specific direction. Here is all of it, and we are using a lot of random numbers to make the game more unexpected. Then as we the starting score will be 6, in which whenever the player starts it will be 6, and as he plays he could either increase in score, and whenever he hits the score of 0 or less than that, which is like just for protecting my code, that's why I wrote like it's less if the score was less than 0. So if the score was less than 0, the game terminates and the player loses. And you could learn more about it in my article that I will link down in the description, which is explaining all of this in specific details. I hope you enjoyed this experience. I would love any feedback on this video, any of the articles, or on any of the projects I'm working on. Excited to learn more about BCIs, so stay tuned for the updates. Salam.